What's up, millionaires? It's your boy Millionaire E coming at you with a movie review. Now, the movie we're going to be talking about is live action Lilo and Stitch. Now, before we get started, spoiler alert for anyone who's not seen the movie yet. I don't want to spoil it for you. I'm going to be giving some major spoilers. Now, also before we get started, I'm going to show you some of the new manga I got. So, I've been really getting into Dr. Stone because the manga, and also I like the anime because it's funny watching it dubbed. But the art of the manga I really like. So I got these two new art mangas, or these two new mangas, which is the Dr. Stone. This is the 5th issue, and then this is the 16th issue. Now, of course, these are all out of order, but I had previously bought the 17th issue, and I'm like, I'm gonna read the 16th so then I can be like, oh, that's what happened in the 17th issue. And I'm just like, the art just looks really cool. It's just, I just really like the art and stuff. And I didn't even get that first when I was reading it, but it's like now I really like the art. And then another thing, since I'm like, I really like Star Wars and stuff, and I was like, you know what, let me go back and see how it is. And I've heard a lot of things with people playing, like it's been a lot of people playing like Battlefront 2. So I decided to get Battlefront 2 right here, because I'm like, let me try this game again. But let's get into the Lilo and Stitch movie. Now, I'm gonna give you some good stuff and then some stuff I was like, okay, they could have done something a little bit better with that. Now, before we even do that, I'm just gonna set the record straight and say first, when it comes to remakes, Disney remakes of movies, live action remakes of movies, I'm not very tolerant of it. Because it's like, for me, I feel like it's like, let's see what movie we can make. What's the next movie we can make that's a live action? I feel like it's lazy. Let's make Tarzan live action remake, and I'm just like, bruh, seriously? So when they came with, you know, Lilo and Stitch, I was like, bruh, are you kidding me? Like, are we really doing this now? Because that's my favorite character. I love Stitch. I love Lilo and Stitch. I love the even the movie Leroy and Stitch. So I was like, okay, I don't know about this. And then I saw the trailer and how funny it was with the I think it's Backstreet Boys Alright or something in the background, or basically Stitch being Stitch. And the CGI as Stitch, I thought it was funny. I was like, okay, that's cool. And also, while hearing this, I heard a lot of stuff like Gantu not being, like the giant whale dude Gantu not being in the movie. And I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna try to, you know, just watch the movie. Because even it came out on the 23rd and I couldn't watch it because I was at work. And like literally looking at my YouTube, I see, oh my God, this movie is horrible. Oh God. And I'm not saying anything to anybody bad or anything, because I'm like, some people might have had a different experience with the movie. But I will say, going into this movie, I was like, oh man, because I don't usually watch those. When it comes to like, when I'm trying to review a movie, I won't watch somebody else's video because I don't want to have their pre-existing notions that are in my mind to make this movie feel bad, if you know what I'm saying. So as I'm going into this movie, I'm watching this movie and I'm like, okay, you know what? It's actually pretty nice. And just to give you a brief, Lilo and Stitch is a story about a little girl who is living with her big sister in a house. And of course, their lives are changed when Lilo meets Stitch, who is an indestructible alien convict, who is Experiment 626, but his name is Stitch. And she becomes his pet, and he basically changes from his destructive nature. Now, in watching the movie, like I said, showing you some things that were good and bad, I saw there were some points or some things that were in the original, the animated series movie, that was taken out in the actual one. And I will say, I feel like the movie was fine with that. Because it's hard to say, but it's like, for me, when I was sitting there thinking of the movie, I was like, you know what? This is not a remake of Lilo and Stitch, but it is more of a or it might know, you know, I don't know if to call it a remake or I might be making it mixing it up, but remake or something different, or an exact copy, because this is not a remake of Lilo and Stitch. This is, initially you take a few of the good things in Lilo and Stitch and then you kind of put it in there, but then you also kind of added a bit of a new plot to it. And actually what's interesting about that is I didn't have a problem with that, because the story still had points that you saw in the animated movie, but then also had different other things. Like the whole thing with Nani is she's trying to find a job, but then also pushing that she wants to be a marine biologist, but she's like, no, I can't do that because I gotta focus on Lilo. And so she's pushing that back and basically, trying to take care of Lilo while also the people are like, oh no, you can't do this. You have to get like health care. You got to have a clean house. So she's juggling all these types of things, which again, like I said, that was in the movie, except the whole thing with the marine biologist was not. And another thing with being Stitch was, how Stitch basically was like, I feel alone. I have no one, even with that whole I think that one scene where he has like the ugly duckling book and he's in like outside and he's just like, I'm alone, because he feels like he's destructive. They didn't put that in that movie, but they added another part that I did feel was impactful. And another thing to say that I really liked about the movie was, and I was trying to look to see if I can find it. I might have to like, watch the movie when it comes on DVD or something and be like, okay, let me see if I can point out. But they showed Easter eggs, which was really cool. And it made me wonder or kind of want another movie, because in one of the scenes, of course, spoiler alert, Jumba, of course, is the, antagonist of the movie. And he takes Stitch and he's on a ship and he's like, I'm going to turn you into 627. And he pulls up this slide screen. And just for a few minutes, he slides through the characters, and who you see Angel, you see Ruben, and then you see, of course, 627. Now, of course, I know that 627 appeared in both Ruben, Angel, and 627 appeared in the, I think it was the animated series, which I did watch a little bit of that. But I thought that was really cool because I was like, oh, wow, it's Angel and it's Ruben, and then it's the other character that I don't know much about. So I was like, yo, that's a really cool Easter egg to add in there. So that's another thing that I liked, and I like I will say Pleakley's voice actor and character. I haven't seen like the show, but I know that the dude who played like Pleakley as a human form, he played that one alien, like that alien show, I think, where it was almost like he was a fish out of water. So I feel like, and I'm not trying to place an actor into a character, but I really do feel like I was like, okay, yeah, I see that. Even Pleakley, like the CGI with all the aliens, it didn't look nasty. It looked really cool. Now, getting into some of the things I was kind of a bit about, because I can't say there were anything that I was like, oh, I didn't like about the movie, but it was more questionable. So, Jumba, I don't know what to say about his design. Part of me is like, I was sitting in the movie at first, I was like, ugh, but then I was like, okay, I kind of like it. It's growing on me. And even also, his voice actor, I just feel like the voice actor, it grew on me, but then because at the first part I was like, yeah, this definitely doesn't fit Jumba. Because Jumba, it's hard to explain, but Jumba has like a heavy set accent. I think he has like a heavy accent in the animated series. And even in the movie. And his voice is heavy. While this guy's voice was a bit lighter. And I was kind of like, and I was like, okay, you know what? That's fine. And then, it's funny that they did this. But I will say I had a little bit of problems with this part. So, of course, spoiler alert. So, you get to the climax of the movie. And Stitch is like, Lilo is basically, a ship blows up and they're in the water. Lilo ends trapped under shrapnel in the ocean. Stitch, of course, goes to swim after her. Now, again, one thing I didn't even tell y'all, if y'all don't know, Stitch is super strong, super smart. He's indestructible. The only thing is he cannot be in water because it lowers his density. I think it makes his density heavier, I believe, or it makes it where he cannot float, basically. So he'll sink straight to the ground, and if nothing picks him up, he'll basically drown. Almost kind of like One Piece characters who have devil fruits, if you know what I'm saying. But, so he goes and saves Lilo, and Lilo is underwater, and, she's trying to swim up with Stitch, but Stitch is kind of weighing her down, and then Nani and I think, I forgot his name, they go in, they grab Lilo, and they swim up back up, and they're like, okay, let's go. And Lilo's like, no, you can't leave him. Ohana means family. So then Nani goes and she swims back down and tries to pick up Stitch. Now this is where, pardon my French, I'm sorry, but this is where I call BS. Because the next thing she does is she tries to pull Stitch up and she's like, nah, forget this. I have unlimited breathing. And walks. Mind you, walks to the beach, the shore of the beach. Mind you, she is underwater carrying Stitch. I'm like, no, I'm calling BS on that. Because I'm like, whoa, hold on a second now. Like, when can you breathe that long? And I mean, maybe, of course, I don't know, they could say, well, she's a marine biologist, so she learns how to, breathe underwater longer. But I'm like, she legit walked across the shore underwater. And I'm like, you could have done something better with that. And then another thing I will say was also funny, which is that Stitch was like he was almost drowned, and they tried to use a defibrillator on him, and Pleakley was like, nah, you got to use something bigger than that. So so Lilo runs to the truck, grabs jumper cables, attaches the jumper cables to a car battery, and then attaches it to Stitch and revives him. And I'm like, it's funny because it's stupid, but it is funny. So yeah, I'm like I said, the only two things otherwise with that was like the whole thing with Nani, like being able to breathe underwater super long. And then I will say, like I said, it's a mixed bag about Jumba's voice and his voice and design. But other than that, I really liked it, and it almost felt as like just a Disney movie. Like there was nothing like it didn't feel like it left anything out. Because even like I said, with the stuff that was left out, I feel like the movie still was good, even though they left that stuff out, because they created another path. So it's almost like I was sitting here thinking in the movie theater, it's almost like a parallel universe almost. Like you have this movie, which is the Lilo and Stitch movie. It's the original animated series. But then you have this other one who is not... It is Lilo and Stitch, but it's added with a whole bunch of different stuff to it. But it's still good. That's what I felt. I felt like I still liked it. And so, remember, y'all, like the video, share it with your fam. And also, if y'all have seen the movie, tell me what y'all thought about it. And if you haven't, check it out and tell me what you thought. Remember, like the video, share it with your fam, and if you're subscribed, click that bell icon to be notified for more videos. And I'll see you on the next video. Y'all, bye, y'all. Blessed meters. Bye.